You're sitting at your desk. The task is right there in front of you. Simple, clear, doable, and yet you cannot begin. Instead, you scroll. You reorganize. You clean things that do not need cleaning. You tell yourself you will start in 10 minutes, then an hour, then tomorrow. And beneath the guilt, the shame, the self-criticism, there is something else. A quiet hum of anxiety. A whisper that says, if I start, I might fail. If I finish, I might be judged. If I try, I might discover I am not enough. Here's the paradox no one tells you. Procrastination is not laziness. It is protection. Your nervous system is trying to keep you safe from a pain you learned long ago. The pain of being exposed, the pain of being criticized, the pain of being abandoned for not being perfect. What once shielded you from emotional harm has now become the cage you live in. You delay not because you do not care, but because you care too much. And that is where the hidden gift lives, buried beneath years of misunderstanding. Let us reframe what procrastination actually is. In psychology, chronic procrastination is often linked to emotional dysregulation. It is a survival strategy rooted in avoidance. When a task feels emotionally threatening, your brain does not see a deadline, it sees danger. So it does what it has been trained to do. It postpones the threat. This is deeply connected to the default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for self-focused thought and imagining future outcomes. You were not lazy, you were overthinking the emotional cost of beginning. Many procrastinators grew up in environments where mistakes were met with criticism or disappointment. Love felt conditional. This creates what psychology calls an unrelenting standard schema, a belief that nothing you do will ever be good enough. So you delay, because if you never finish, you never have to face judgment. There is also something called temporal discounting. Your brain chooses short-term emotional relief over future consequences. It is not a logic problem. It is a nervous system problem. You live in a constant state of low-grade dread. Even when you rest, you are not really resting. There is always a list in the background, a weight you cannot put down. You fear failure. You fear judgment. But most of all, you fear being seen as imperfect and unfinished. So you hide behind delays, behind tomorrow, behind pressure. This is not personality, this is pattern, and patterns can be unlearned. Healing starts with a reframe. You stop calling it laziness, you start calling it protection. You calm your nervous system. You teach your body that starting is not danger. You speak to the younger part of you that learned perfection was the price of love. You practice beginning badly, imperfect, messy, human. Because trying imperfectly is more powerful than never starting at all. You are not your procrastination. You are someone learning to trust themselves again. The goal is not to be fixed. The goal is to become whole. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your worth was never tied to your productivity. You were always enough. You just forgot. But now, you're beginning to remember.